we'll be expecting in this forthcoming election. And you're welcome to We Time with EKENE EZEPUE this morning. My name is EKENE EZEPUE. How you doing, Abuja? I hope you're having a good time this morning. The morning actually started on a very cold note. Yeah, I hope you're enjoying yourself. Makes the weekend, to be very relaxing, because if there's heat, you won't actually enjoy your weekend. So God has actually blessed us in the Federal Capital Territory this morning. So you're welcome on We Time with EKENE EZEPUE. I have very wonderful personalities that will be discussing varieties of issues bordering on this forthcoming election 2023, and we'll be discussing about this the turnout of events in the last APC primaries, as well as the PDP, as well as long as other issues that borders on this election, this forthcoming election, because election is actually what defines us. Whether you like it or not, it has a lot to do with the way we're going to be living our life from in the next 8 years. So you just have to get involved. Go out there, get your PVCs, get ready, get involved in all the political processes, that will bring in the new leadership that Nigerians are craving for. Right about now, we have wonderful gentlemen in the building that will be discussing issues of what we will be expecting in this forthcoming election as regards to the just concluded APC and PDP primary elections as well. We have Oladimeji Fabiyi, PDP Stakeholder Director, Support Groups and Events Africa, Atiku Presidential Campaign Organization 2023. Honorable Oladimeji, you're welcome on We Time with EKENE EZEPUE this morning.
Thank you, EKENE, for bringing me. Good morning, Nigerians.
All right, we have the singular honor to have in our midst again a regular guest in the building, Barrister Gani Arobo. You're welcome on We Time with EKENE this morning.
Thank you very much.
Yeah.
Good morning, everyone.
Yeah, okay. Now we're going to start with Honorable Oladimeji. We want to start with... okay, I think we should start with you. We should start with you, the APC man. Barrister Gani Arobo is actually an APC member, and Honorable Oladimeji is from the PDP. All right. Now we want to start with you, Barrister Gani Arobo. The just concluded election has actually come and gone. Tinubu is now the flag bearer of All Progressive Congress. How do you say it?
Well, first of all, thank you for having me, and it's always nice to be here with you today.
Thank you very much.
The APC primaries was a very huge success, contrary to the insinuations that we had going in to the convention. Okay. Everybody had thought that the party would come out and implode because of the intense activities in the lead up to the convention. But fortunately, the leaders of the party were able to get everybody to work out an arrangement that eventually saved the day. In terms of the emergence of Asiwaju Bola Ahmed Tinubu, the reality is that the entire party is excited about the prospect of an Asiwaju presidency. His emergence has signaled to the party that APC is prepared to give it a very serious shot in 2023. And I'm speaking from very informed position within the party, within the political leadership of the party, and also the administrative leadership of the party and the membership of the party. Everybody is on the same page. The story is that we have a leader who is tested and proven. We have a mobilizer. We have somebody who is a thinker and a doer, an extremely creative man in the space of leadership. The extent of his contribution to the democratic process is now out there in public. It's no longer subject of any debate. So the party knows that in the lead up to 2023, it has to go in with the highest level of momentum to stand a chance. And the emergence of Asiwaju has injected that momentum into the party. So yes, APC is fired up. The first order of business for him is to bring the immediate contestants back into the fold. Whoever is not seeing an injury, to assure them that he's going to offer a platform for everybody. That is his history anyways. The man has no ability to begrudge anyone because of political contestations. That has been his track record. So once we are done with that phase, there are several other activities lined up. First to further energize the party before the direct engagement with Nigerians begin. And as at that time, we really look forward to meeting, Vice President Atiku Abubakar, whom we also have a lot of respect for as an accomplished politician, a very close friend of Asiwaju himself. People who we've worked together on so many projects before. And we believe that we have what it takes at the end of the day to make it. Although we are humble, it's a very humble campaign. They realize their strengths and their weaknesses, and we know that we have to give it our all in order for us to clinch victory.
Okay. Now, we are coming to you, Honorable Oladimeji Fabi. You are the Director, Support Groups and Events, Atiku Presidential Campaign Organization 2023. And we want to know how you feel about the emergence of your principal, Alhaji Atiku Abubakar.
All right, Ekene, thank you very much. I'm happy to be here. My brother, I'm happy to be here with you. First and foremost, I'd like to say that it has come and gone. We're happy about its emergence. The party is equally feels good about it. And then you can see that immediately after its emergence, a lot of activities have started, happening, trying to close ranks and bring everybody together. For me, Atiku has a very rich history. PDP Goli has a very rich history. We have put that behind us. We are looking at what next. And what next would have to be, how do we stand shoulder to shoulder with the opposing party? How do we provide the necessary good governance to the people of the country? How do we get a running mate that will add value, to the project Nigeria, and then of course set up a robust campaign council that will be able to tell people what Atiku represents, what PDP is bringing to the table. So that's where we are now. We're excited about it. We're excited about its emergence. You can see the lots of the ovation that followed his emergence within the PDP and the country at large. I'd like to join my brother in what is said about Atiku Abubakar and Tinubu. Their relationship, dated way back. They belong to the same political family, and then they have tremendous respect for each other. And we're excited that these two great Nigerians have been put forward by their parties to provide the necessary leadership, the necessary, governance.
Okay, in terms of competing and in terms of trying to, because actually election is competition, whether you like it or not. So it's just like playing a soccer. So in terms of competing, do you think that brotherhood between him and Asiwaju will still come to play?
It's not war. Election is not war. It's about ideas. It's about marketing yourself and what you have for the people. See, in all of this, the country first, the people first in all of this. And I know these guys they are politically mature to the extent that you can't take it away from them that they will take their eyes away from the ball. I know my principle for that. For him, it's about Nigeria. He thinks, he eats Nigeria, he sleeps Nigeria, he thinks about Nigeria. Anytime you see him travel out of the country, it's about how can I bring employment to our youth? How can I do? So it's about Nigeria for them. And I think the same thing is for the other, the candidate of the APC. So it's about Nigeria. Nigeria is the only thing that matters now. So I'm not saying in a political contest or in election you won't have these skirmishes. You can't run away from it. It will happen. But the bigger goal is Nigeria. What happened to Nigeria is what are we bringing to the table to help Nigeria from the current situation they are now. You can't take it from anywhere that we're not having at the best, it's not that we're not at our best at the moment in terms of leadership and governance in the country. So we need someone who can come and change the dynamics, who understand what it takes to provide the much needed leadership.
Okay, now we are coming to you, Barrister Gani Arobo. People are actually thinking, mouths are wagging. People are seeing that APC is going for Muslim candidacy. Is it what we are hearing? Is it true?
Asiwaju was asked this question directly when he went to see the president after the convention, and he said that the parameters for picking his vice president, he's going to keep those very closely to his chest. We are aware that the Progressive Governors Forum, especially the governors from the northern part of the country, who played a significant role in its emergence by ceding power to the south, a few days to the convention itself, are very active in the process of proposing a vice presidential candidate that would run on the same ticket with Asiwaju Bola Ahmed Tinubu. They've expanded their work now to include their southern brothers. The political party itself, which is the National Working Committee, they are also looking at possibilities. So, in essence, there are several options on the table. But I think I quickly need to make this point. Religion is a very thorny issue in our political space. It is not so much because it enhances the debate, but it is because it is an instrument that is available for politicians to exploit in order to exacerbate the differences between us and drive those fault lines, that actually divide us as a nation. We have had a vice president now for the past 7 years who is a Christian. I don't think he has done anything in his office, to say I'm doing this solely because I'm a Christian. Whatever he has done largely because he's a Nigerian, a competent Nigerian who understands the nuances of this country. So, in the long run, the conversation about religion is very loud, but I believe that it's going to pale into insignificance if you begin to look at the question of, competence, capacity. That is not to say that there are no competent persons, in both faiths. There are, and Asiwaju has lived his life to demonstrate to everybody that he's not a bigot. His wife is possibly number 2 or number 3.
But it will be very insensitive not to, look at that line very well, that's because it's actually a very big factor.
That's exactly the point I am getting at. That the role of religion, in our politics, I think is overplayed. In my view, I think it's overplayed. I'm not saying that there is no conversation about it going on. It is, but I believe that it is giving such premium over every other consideration, as if there is something you benefit by that in the course of governance. And I'm saying that there is absolutely no evidence, no empirical evidence to show that this XYZ benefit endures in favor of XYZ population simply because of their religious disposition. There is no empirical evidence to that. So what I'm saying, and this is my personal opinion, right? And I'm a bit comfortable with any choice Asiwaju comes up with. I'm comfortable with that because of 2 factors. One, he's deeply experienced in this business, and he's a very scientific politician. He's somebody that works with numbers a lot. So every decision he makes is driven by factors on the ground. Secondly, his personal history as a man who is married to a foremost pastor of Redeem, whose wife wakes up with the Bible beside him himself being a Muslim, right? Tells me that he can work literally with anybody.
Okay.
My direct response to your question is that it is in the works. We'll have to wait for the leaders to make a decision, and then we can discuss the consequence of such a decision on the general election proper.
Honorable Odolimeji, do you have anything to say as regards to this?
Yes, absolutely. We have to be sensitive to so many things in this country. We have a situation where lots of actions of the current government has given an impression that there is a bias when it comes to ethnicity, there's a bias when it comes to religion. So we have to be careful what we do, you know. For us in PDP and for Atiku Abubakar, the record speaks for him. If there is anyone who has shown so much tenacity about what should play out, the things that should guide our decision when, you know, making leadership, he has been in the forefront, and then he has.
When it has to do with national issues.
National issues, he has never shied away from it. The record speaks for him. I remember when President Buhari emerged, and there was need to pick a vice president. Yes, Atiku was with them at that time, and he stood his ground. Said, Mr. President, don't think this is 1993 when Abiola picked Kinjibe, or which no, we're not there yet. So you have to be mindful of who you pick as your running mate. And he stood his ground, and Professor Yemi Osinbajo emerged. Just like my brother said, religion is a key issue. And it's one of those things that if care is not taken will determine what happens in the next election. So as far as I am concerned, the candidates must be conscious of this fact, and they shouldn't just throw it in the dustbin. No, it's not gonna be like that.
Okay.
Because we have a situation where people are already established an impression that the current government has not done well. Appointment has been given, and they believe Muslims have gotten the appointment. A lot of things, delicate issues. We have to be careful.
Yeah, a lot of people are so concerned about your principal, Alhaji Atiku Abubakar. They were of the opinion that he's been in the news in the past, actually, for trying to sell NNPC and some of these other government establishments. Do you feel that he's still not such ambition?
Let me tell you something about Atiku Abubakar. When you follow his political history and trajectory, there was no time Atiku has ever come out to say, I want to run for the president of Nigeria, that he does not have a working document, a policy document. If I have the time, I can tell you from 2007, his policy choices. And whenever he comes up with these policy choices, they are those choices that seriously address those teething problems Nigeria is facing. Atiku never said he was going to sell NNPC, but people chose to use it as a political, just bring politics into it, and then began to turn it into something different. I was at the Economic Summit in Lagos at a hotel when Atiku said, I'm going to tell you the exact word he used. He said, there's nothing wrong if you sell 20% of NNPC. And that will give us about $40 billion that can be invested in power, in education, and infrastructure development. That's what he said. But at that time, the opposition party took it and said, no, he wanted to sell them. And he further asked him, who are you going to do this for? He said, people, friends. He's not going to sell to enemies. I remember Rufai said the same thing when they accused him of giving lands to family members. So I should give it to an enemy. So I think it was very clear about what he wanted, and the records are there. Go back to that 2015 document, his policy document. You see it there. So it's just a wise thinking. At the end of the day, you saw that what he even said then, the APC came back to do it, unbundling the NNPC and privatizing some part of NNPC. So these are some of the things APC came back and bought into that, and that is the way it has always been. It will say something at the end of the day. Even in PDP, there are so many things he has said that the government eventually come back to do them. It means that Atiku's vision is unparalleled. And that's the kind of people we need in this country, who has the vision of what tomorrow will be. One of the hallmark of a good leader is to be able to take leadership followers to where they don't want to go, because that's the best for them. And that's where Atiku
If he said that,
yes.
Sorry, Barrister Aruba, I'll be coming to you shortly, but if he said that, that 20% of can be sold and all that, and then generate employment for our teeming youth, yeah, you actually said that. Then by the time we bring it down to what we are facing in the country in terms of refineries and all that, which have not been fixed, every other day new government comes in and then imports fuel again, and then now he wants to sell NNPC as well, 20%, like you said. You understand? Do you think it's a way to go? If it's not going to leave us in the dark, just like the way we are still importing PMS and all that products that we still have in the country.
Well, I don't understand leaving us in the dark. Somebody come up with a well-thought policy and said, I think this can help us. We have deficit in power, we have deficit in education, we have deficit in infrastructure. So you need to fund them.
But that was how that intention came of importing oil from abroad.
But you must come up with a concrete plan to address it, and that's what Atiku did. He said, see, we don't have funds for this, and there are deficits in all of this sector. We can't continue to go borrowing. We have something that can actually give us money to address all this. And that's what Atiku said. He said, okay, in my own opinion, I think if we do this, we're going to get this sorted out. Are you going to deny that we have deficits in all of this sector? So where are the funds? This government of APC has gone borrowing. Okay, I was listening to statistics from I don't know which statistics office in the last 2 days, that our debt profile has gone to over 40 trillion.
Yeah.
So we can't continue to do this. I mean, after when we have something we can do to mitigate all these things. So that's what Atiku is talking about. For me, I think we need leaders who can actually think outside the box, and that's what Atiku has done in that regard. There are so many other issues. You can see at this declaration, it came out that same day what they wanted to do for Nigeria, which is called unity. We call it unity seed. The major challenge of this country now is for us to first come together as a nation. Even Bart said the same thing. We must be able to unify, and that's why it's given that name unifier. So it's for us to first come together as a people, as a nation. Let's be united. The country has never been this divided. I'm so scared of you. You are so scared of me. Then he said, if we're able to come together, of course, that will ginger confidence from the outside world that these people, no more war, no more crisis. Then he said, let's go into security. Every day people are being killed. You can't even travel by road from Abuja to Kaduna. Your heart will be in your mouth. So insecurity is another issue. Then he further went and said, economic development. Look at the economy. Go to the market and see what is going on. We all know these are public knowledge. So he said, from there, our education. Without education, we can't do it. This is the bedrock of development. I'm going to address this. Then lastly is the devolution of powers. We need a situation where each of the regions will be able to grow at their own pace. We need a lean federal government. We need a robust state government that can develop at their own pace. These are the policy issues. These are the things that he keeps talking about. So we're good with it.
Okay. Now we're coming to you, Barrister Gani Arobo. Yeah. Now a lot of people are saying that Bola Ahmed Tinubu is not really healthy. Do you buy in that rumor?
Okay. Now, before I quickly respond to that, we left out. We made a point about the issue of religion and this. Let me just quickly make this point.
Okay, please.
This election is going to be faced with two major sentiments. One is PDP fielding a northern candidate after President Buhari has done 8 years, and wants to, by having Vice President Atiku as his presidential aspirant, preserve power in the north. Then two is the possibility that APC fields a Muslim ticket. So Nigerians will have to make a choice between these two parallels, where to go. So my belief is that ultimately APC will make the right choice, and then it will whatever decision they make will help the ticket and improve acceptability of APC across the nation. So that's for that. With respect to Asiwaju's health, I think that is the product of a very intense party primaries, where contestants try to do everything to undermine the other candidate in order to give themselves a chance, at victory. Asiwaju he has been in public life since 1992, when he contested for Senate, and he has not looked back since then. Yeah, he was away for a while during the Nadeco struggle, came back in 1999, and he has been it's been an unbroken period of active political participation. So the question of how healthy he is actually not a question for debate. But what we have seen of late is that the man had a domestic accident where his knee was involved, right? And that was the reason he traveled abroad. and try to fix it. But of course, because the political activities came so quickly, so he's had to come back, be participating in that process while recuperating from a small knee injury, right?
Okay.
So that is with respect to his health. I'm not his personal doctor, so clearly you will require his physician to give you
some of these updates, okay.
And he will provide that. But the key point is that every other person in the race leading to his emergence, right? No other person was accused of not being healthy except Asiwaju. Yet Asiwaju wins.
Yeah, actually, people said that, going by his track records, that he has no dents.
Asiwaju has a sound mind.
You understand? But why people are so worried now is because of his health. People feel like he's not that healthy when he used to be the former Lagos State governor.
And that's exactly what I'm responding to. What Nigerians need. And if you look at the constitution itself, the requirement for you to be the president of this country is to be of sound mind. It's Asiwaju of sound mind. That's the question to ask. President Roosevelt ruled America from a wheelchair. We're not saying that Asiwaju is going to be on a wheelchair. I'm just saying that the leadership question that faces Nigerians is whether the man on that ticket is a person of sound mind. Is of sound judgment. If he's faced with two competing options, can he make a call as to say this is the way to go? If anybody was in doubt, the activities leading up to his victory at the convention has cleared that doubt.
Barrister Gani Arobo, you said sound mind. You did not involve sound body.
No, I'm giving you the constitutional requirement for anybody to be or not to be a president. And I'm not speaking in respect of whether Asiwaju is indeed on sound body. No, that's not what I'm saying. Okay. All I'm saying is that by going by the constitution, it's like when you say the constitution says you should have school leaving certificate. The constitution doesn't require you to have a PhD to be the president of Nigeria. It requires you to have a school leaving certificate, right? Now, if the constitution also says that the president should be of sound mind, does Asiwaju meet that requirement? He does. Is Asiwaju of a sound body? If you're not of a sound body, you cannot keep up with his routine. Now, let me make this point also. I'm actually very close to Asiwaju's campaign, right? We manage the Directorate of Legal in Asiwaju's campaign. Okay. And we see this man up close. This is a man that goes to bed by 4 a.m. and wakes up by 6 a.m. and is active. You cannot keep up with Asiwaju's routine. You simply cannot. I cannot keep up with his routine. If you go to his house today at Asokoro, it is an unbelievable mecca of sorts, right? And he gets up, he's in Abeokuta today, tomorrow morning he's in Jigawa, next tomorrow he's back in the office in a strategy meeting, and in all of this, you do not see a man who is not physically ready for this business. Finally, Asiwaju is a very pragmatic politician. If he could not do this, he would not put himself forward. And that is the truth.
Okay.
So the reality is that Asiwaju is healthy physically, Asiwaju is healthy of his mind, and Asiwaju is prepared to give this presidency the best shot of his life, and that is enough for us to clinch victory.
So how will you see, do you sense any bad blood between him and Osibajo? Asiwaju and Osibajo?
No, the campaign was very intense. Maybe because the vice president's team were new to because this is the first time he will actually contest in an open election of any kind in his life. So maybe his team was a bit you can see the way Article's team is talking. These people are veterans, and this is what we are up against. You understand? These people are not playing. These people are serious. You heard what Asiwaju said. We have a massive competition in front of us, right? So, but the VP's team was a bit of a young team politically. So, the first way to know that of a political campaign is how they present the issues. A young campaign often runs away from the issues and they start attacking personalities, and all that. So that made the campaign a bit dirty, But let me say this: all through Asiwaju's history, it has been dotted with the stories of people he has fallen out with politically, and he has come back to bring them back into his fold. So Asiwaju has nothing. He has even said it, that the bond between him and Osinbajo is so deep that they are like brothers. Ultimately, you need everyone in this campaign. We also need the vice president in this campaign. So if there was any bad blood, those issues will be resolved. The VP will play he will play a leading role in this campaign. I have no doubt about that. And Asiwaju will open his arms. He has done it to Obani Koro, who went to PDP and did all that he did against him. He has done it to Afiku Yomi, who left him and went to work with my brothers here, his principal. You know, Asiwaju he doesn't have the ability to begrudge anybody.
Okay, now we are coming to you to get your final notes on all the issues, going down to the election of your principal in terms of running mate and all that. But we just want to use like 1 minute to wrap up all this.
Okay, thank you very much. Let me quickly say something about the health of Asiwaju that he talked about. See, number one, God gives good health. He owns life. He has everything. But we're at a time where we need to develop certain things in our electioneering process. I think it would be better, whether it's INEC or any organization that is started with it, that every candidate of the party, whether from national to councillorship, must be able to present their health records. When they do, then we'll be able to ascertain what is their health status. I believe Asiwaju is good, as he's healthy, but let us have his health record. We made that mistake when we were electing President Buhari, and we shouldn't do that again. Atiku should be asked to present his health records. Whoever, Peter Obi, all of them, present your health records. Let's see. And it should be subject to verification by independent body who actually come up with the true situation of their health. So that is for me on that. For every other thing, PDP is ready to take over the leadership of this country, to rescue this country. For everything that is what, Atiku is ready, is prepared, and there are so many things that distinguished him from every other aspirant. And that is the number one, is his level of preparedness over the years. He has told everybody who cares to listen that I'm prepared to lead this country. The next thing is his capacity, his experience, and if you look at any man who has ever said, this country, we must get it right, and who is acting through to it, is Atiku Abubakar. So Atiku is ready, is stable in any form that you can think of, is prepared, is ready to take the lead and to help in resetting the order of this country.
Thank you very much.
Everybody is welcome to the table.
we no longer have that time. Okay,
just to say that Atiku has the OB conundrum as a massive roadblock that he has to cross. So once Atiku's first monster is to first of all take out the OB impact on his votes, because Peter Obi looks like he's taking a big chunk of that. Once he can cross that hurdle, then we'll be waiting for him.
That is not true. That is not true. That is not true. We'll see how it plays out.
All right, gentlemen.
May the best candidate win for Nigeria.
Yes,
all right, may the best candidate win for Nigeria. And that's the word of Honorable Oladimeji Fabiyi, member of PDP stakeholder and director support group and events Atiku Presidential Campaign Organization 2023. I want to thank the learned gentleman over here, Barrister Gani Arobo, for coming through. He's actually a member of All Progressive Congress. Thank you, gentlemen, for being on Wait Time with EKENE this morning, and I hope to have you as events unfolds leading to the election. Thank you for coming.
Thank you.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, we'll be right back shortly, because we'll still be discussing with Honorable Dr. Tunji Ashaolu, Nigerian representative, African Union Economic, Social and Cultural Council. But that will be when we return from this lovely song from Lagbaja.